tropics are definitely waking up as we get close to the statistical height, the statistical peak of hurricane season, which is usually around September 10th. We have plenty of activity going on in the Atlantic right now. Most of it, though, not looking to affect Texas. We'll take our first look here at Tropical Storm Earl at this point. Tropical Storm now, it was a hurricane and it's weakened, but it does expect to strengthen again as it continues to move off to the north. You can see the track here going way out into the Atlantic. The United States is way off the screen here, so not expecting to affect us at all. The other storm here is Danielle. This is another hurricane, much more interesting looking for sure. You can see all of the very intense rotation and the eye in the center there. And this storm will again continue to move up really towards Europe at this point, not doing anything close to the United States. And then as there's another storm further up here. It's so far out I almost don't even need to really talk about it. But down in the main development region, there are a couple of things here. As I kind of get out of the way, there's two areas of development. It's kind of hard to see both of them, but two areas of development. One of those has, I believe we're looking at about a 60% chance of development. But as you look at let me kind of broaden this out. As you look at the track, again, pushing up into the Atlantic Basin, not really looking to affect the United States much. The other of those has only about a 20% chance of development. It shows a little more direct. Of course, the Caribbean is way over here, so time will tell what this one will do, if it even develops, if that will continue on towards the Caribbean and the Gulf, or if it will just take the same old track up into the Atlantic Basin and go from there. Let's go over to the Pacific, and there is something interesting to talk about here that, again, doesn't really look to bring much impact to Texas, but it could be a bit of a newsmaker. This is K. This is Hurricane K, and again, very clear rotation here. This storm, a Category 1 now, expected to hit Category 3 strength before it ultimately runs its course. But the interesting thing about this is that it could bring some rain to an area of California, the Los Angeles and San Diego area that desperately needs rain. The thing is, though, it looks to track out into the Pacific. So as it gets closer to the border here, it's just going to take this turn towards the west, and it looks like it will go out into the Pacific. So even this storm doesn't really want to have much to do with the United States. So not a whole lot of impacts from the tropics, even though we're looking at a very, very active time in the Atlantic and especially in the Pacific and especially the Atlantic. It just doesn't look like anything is going to come towards the United States specifically. So I will continue to watch this. We're going to be on the downslope. After we get through mid-September, we'll kind of start going down in terms of a less active hurricane season. If this continues, we could go the whole hurricane season without having a big impact on the coast of the United States. But here's the thing. People like to say all the time, well, the national hurricane season was wrong. We're still having a pretty active season in terms of the storms in the Atlantic. They're still there, it's just they're not touching us. Now, it's also true that we haven't gone anywhere near as far into the alphabet as we have in past years, rather. There were some years where we blew right past the normal alphabet and were in the Greek alphabet. There was one year we weren't even sure the Greek alphabet was going to be enough. So it does look like we're having a lower than normal season in terms of the number of storms and the activity, but it's not over yet. Stay tuned. I'll have more updates in the weeks ahead.